get ready for an epic road trip along hidden gems all over Europe.
We look to the mountains. We don't care if it's only a dream. Nothing is really what it seems anyway.
Welcome to Out of the World, and today you're joining me for something different because we're close to home and we're going to drive all the way to Germany. And from there, the plan is to drive across Europe and make a beautiful road trip to the most incredible places. We start here in Hannover, Münden, where we just spent the night in this house. It's so lovely.
When you wanna be loved by everyone, you get fooled by anyone.
In about 5 hours, we drove from Rotterdam to this super scenic medieval town. We read about the incredible old center and now look for a place to stay.
But without you, I'm lost.
We found this nice little apartment for just 35 bucks a night. We only have to make our own breakfast.
Yeah, we can walk on water. While the boats are leaking, soon the walls will be giving in. Anytime now. Anytime.
In 10 minutes we drive to the old center of one of Germany's most gorgeous towns.
I guess I'll be walking home in the rain. I lost you, but then you were mine again.
The area is green and perfect for hiking. And we also found a free parking lot just across the water from the center.
We forget about everything, every truly remarkable thing. No wonder we lost a ghost.
As you can see, the town is closed for outside cars. And as we walk in, we begin to fall in love with Hannover's Münden.
So am I. But without you, I'm lost. So lost.
The town reminds us of fairy tales and movies like Beauty and the Beast, with the half-timbered houses. It's like one big open-air museum. Founded in the 12th century, this town holds a rich medieval history. Hannover Münden is the town of Dr. Eisenbart, a famous and somewhat unorthodox surgeon of the 18th century. He was world famous because he traveled around using a full orchestra, not only to attract new customers for his surgery, but also that the people in the streets couldn't hear his patients scream while he was busy. The oldest houses here are over 600 years old. In the middle of town is this grand St. Blasius church. And this here is the Rathaus, the town hall.
I heard you want to leave this place where we grew up. This old town, just put it all behind. Remember you and I would always find somewhere to hide when we were kids, so we could see and hear the water run. The river's gonna cry when you're gone.
The town of Hannover Münden is packed with over 700 of these beautiful half-timbered houses. And those wooden beams, they are actually like medieval Lego. Because instead of nails, they use the wooden pegs. So back in the day, you could even take your house entirely apart and build it somewhere else. So if you would have a fight with one of your neighbors, you could just pack up your house and leave and build it somewhere else.
In our marks that turn to memories. The river's gonna cry when you're.
So let's take a look at all of those 700 old houses from the sky. It's like time stood still here since medieval times, because there are no modern buildings at all. We can also see parts of the walls, watchtowers, the moat, and that almighty church in the middle.
cry when you're gone. I was hoping you would stay, but I've always known that you would go and find your own way. I still see when we climbed up in those trees, 12 years old, to feel the wind and watch the river run. And the sun would always shine when we sat there, you and I. The river's gonna cry when you're gone, 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 gone. The river's gonna cry when you're gone, 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 gone. The river's gonna cry when you're gone, 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 gone. The river's gonna cry when you're. The river's gonna cry when you're. The river's gonna cry when you're gone.
We walk back to the car after a fantastic introduction to historic Germany. Did you know that the Brothers Grimm lived only 15 minutes from here? This is the area where they wrote fairy tales like Cinderella, Snow White, Hansel and Gretel and Sleeping Beauty.
Hey, I heard you want to leave this place where we grew up. This old town, just leave it all behind. The river's gonna cry when you're gone.
Hannover Münden was a true hidden gem, a place I bet you never even heard of. But so is the next place. We're going to drive even further to East Germany to find the most beautiful natural valley over there. We drive a very enjoyable road to Dresden, where we booked a small room for only 50 bucks. Who said Europe was expensive? I say, really fantastic. Anybody up for ribs, fries and a beer for under 10 bucks? Eastern Germany is quite different from the West, as prices are still lower and it looks like we travel back in time today. We got a runner! We woke up early today in Eibe's budget Dresden and we're going to drive even further into East Germany to find the Elbsand Mountains. It's also called Saxon Switzerland and there's a place called Bastei, a rock formation with a bridge that's been on my bucket list for years. Let's go. Jens! We drive for about an hour to the Bastei, one of the most impressive natural monuments in Europe. It's a rock formation in the middle of a lush green valley. We're here at a beautiful place with a panoramic view over the rock formations that are the natural border with Czech Republic, because that is what the area of Saxon Switzerland is. I'm going to make a short walk down to the Basteibrücke and I'll see you later.
When I heard about this place, we just had to go and see it. Before we go to the famous bridge, I wanted to show you the highest viewpoint in the area.
The Bastei Bridge was originally made of wood in 1824, but it wore out incredibly fast because it was so popular with tourists, and the maintenance was pretty expensive as well. So in 1851 they replaced it with a newer model made out of sandstone, and that's the one that's still standing strong today. On the rocks behind the Bastei Bridge there used to be a medieval castle, and the only way in were enormous ladders, but they could pull them in when the enemy was coming, so that they had an untouchable fortress over here at 200 meters up in the air.
Speaking about up in the air, I can best show you the dramatic location of the Bastei Bridge with the drone. This place is really one for the Europe bucket list. To make it even more appealing, the admission of this place is totally free.
Traveling spirit, I've seen many shores, from the West Pacific to the island of Canyo. They treat me like a son anywhere I go, and even though no one can tell, I still feel that I'm alone. I'm alone. I'm alone. I'm alone. Leave me stranded, I know how to handle it all on my own. On my own.
The river, the forest and the sandstone mountains are something you would find in a Bob Ross painting. Nature at its best, and so close to home.
I have learned that no one else can carry this load.
That's it for the start of our road trip here in Eastern Germany. But we move on. There's an incredible road trip all the way through Europe waiting for us, for as much as we can. We go to Poland.
I still feel that I'm alone.
I'll see you there.
I'm alone. I'm alone. I'm alone.
The Polish border is only an hour away, and more adventure is waiting. Be sure to tune in the coming weeks, because this is where we're going. Subscribe to Out of the World and always travel with us. Ciao!
We look to the mountains. We don't care if it's only a dream. Nothing is really